Let's continue investigating appropriate design, internal organization of course units, an article by Graham Lowe. And before we discuss the contents of this module, I would just like you to pause the video for a while and think about some of the questions here. And an understanding of these questions will help you better understand the content of this module, the core discussion, the core gist of this module, right? Firstly, what do you understand by the sequences of activities in a course? How different activities are sequenced in a course? And secondly, what do you think about the importance of unit ending with a writing task, for example, essay or a letter? So what you could do, you could think about these questions here, and then you could watch the video later on, right? The activities, how they are sequenced in a language course. Well, there are various approaches, and Graham Lowe suggests two key approaches towards sequencing the activities in a language course. For example, the first one is the writing last solution, which is, for example, a unit could end with a writing task. And I think if you could see most of the textbooks being used in our own state-funded schools, they contain a lesson which ends with the writing task. And here, primarily, the emphasis is on making students acquire the items of grammar, or grammatical items, in other words. But there is a problem attached to this particular kind of approach towards sequencing the activities in a course unit. If, for example, a course unit is always ending with, writing task, the danger involved is that we are going to overlook the significance of listening and speaking, because the more emphasis is on teaching students the grammatical aspect of the language or the syntax of the language, and we are going to overlook the significance of listening and speaking. So the solution to this one is the multiple presentation design, which involves presenting four strands of 4 elements of language learning, which are reading, writing, listening, and speaking, right? And the second sort of approach employed towards sequencing the units of a course is the storyline solution. And this appears very attractive to me. I mean, because it sort of creates a harmony, a strand throughout the course unit. And this is what we could do. We could bring in a story text, for example, brief fiction or a short story, or we could bring in a play, and we could present one episode, and the other episode will be followed by after one second unit per unit, right? So, and bear in mind, while we are going to present the sequences of the activities of a course unit through storyline solution, we need to be aware of the elements of emotion and characterization, so that students don't feel detached, or in other words, if we've got a story which is full of emotions and which is characterization with which the students could relate themselves to the characters presented in a story, so they sort of become more involved. And this storyline solution can be further by explaining and questioning and repeating and drilling. I mean, for example, if we are presenting an episode of a short story, so what we can do, this could be followed by an exercise which invites students to explain, to question or repeat some of the key information presented in the story. So this is how the storyline solution could help teachers not only focus on the form of the language, but also focus on the meaning of the language.